Hey, it's Dave here. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be going over how to play neo-soul guitar. So if you're just getting into the neo-soul genre and you're interested in playing this kind of style, this video is going to be perfect for you. I'm going to be going over the best chords to play, the best scale for neo-soul, how to link everything together to create cool, smooth sounding neo-soul licks and riffs. So without further ado, we'll jump straight into the lesson, starting off with a demonstration of the guitar style of the genre. Enjoy. So neo-soul is a really cool genre that blends the gospel, R&B, hip-hop, funk, jazz kind of styles, blends it all together and creates a really cool, unique genre of its own. I think you should check out these artists here and specifically these guitar players to get a good idea of the neo-soul sound if you're not too familiar with it. Let's get into the actual playing of neo-soul on guitar. Let's talk about chords first. So first of all, I think the most commonly used chord in neo-soul is the major 7 chord, and sounds like that. And what we can do is we can play it on all the different strings. So I'll show you the different ways we can play it. Our root note's going to be on the 5th fret for all of these chords, just to keep things simple. On the low E string, we've got the 5th fret, and then we're going to skip the A string, play the 6th fret of the D and G strings like this. There you go, you've got a major 7 chord. Then on the A string, you've got 5, then 4 on the D string, then 6 on the G string to create that major 7 chord. Then you can play the 5th fret of D string, 4th fret of the G string, and 7th fret of the B string to create that major 7 chord. And finally, you can play 5 on the G string, 5 on the B string, and 7 on the high E string to create another major 7 chord. So those are the typical shapes of the major 7 chord. The highest note is usually hammered on. The highest note in this particular one is the 7th, and it is hammered on from the 6th. So we're going to hammer on the 4th fret of the G string to the 6th fret of the G string. Okay. And can be done with all of the particular major 7 chords. The low E string root power chord, major 7 chord that I just showed you, I prefer to hammer on the D and G strings together. So from the 4th fret of the D and G strings, hammer on to the 6th fret with our little finger and ring finger, like that. Let's jump into an example of where I use these chords with the hammer-ons right now. Enjoy. Now, that riff sounds great on its own, but there's a lot of space in between the chords that could be filled up with melody. The most commonly used scale, I would say, would be the major pentatonic scale. It would highly benefit you to learn all 5 positions of the major pentatonic scale, as you might be playing chords up here, you might be playing chords down here, and you want to know all the positions so you can adjust to where you are on the fretboard. Now, that being said, we're going to use the A major pentatonic scale. We're going to add a few notes in between each chord in the example I showed you previously to create a riff that has a bit more intricacy to it. Here it is. As you'll notice, as well as just playing the notes, I've used a lot of different techniques such as hammer-ons, pull-offs, palm muting. What you really want to do is use as many different techniques and articulations as possible when you're playing neo-soul to give your playing a bit more variety. I've done an entire video on articulation, which you can check out here, so I won't go over that in this video. But what I will say is try and use as many different techniques as possible, like bending, sliding, especially to give it that smooth kind of sound, but also palm muting, grace notes, anything you can think of to add into your melodies when you're playing neo-soul. Now obviously major 7 chords are not the only chords used in neo-soul. Minor 7, dominant 7s, augmented, diminished, all chords are used in neo-soul playing. Let's come up with a chord progression that uses a few different types of chords in there. I've got another example for you right now. All the chord progressions in this video are based around the D Lydian kind of vibe, and you'll notice that some of the chords aren't actually like, they don't fit into D Lydian, and that's because I'm using a technique called Modal Interchange, where you can use chords that are out of the key to create a nice flavor and a bit of spice to your chord progressions. I've also done another video on Modal Interchange, so I won't go over it today, but you can check out the video if you want to go into Modal Interchange. It will really help you create cool chord progressions. As well as using Modal Interchange, you can literally just experiment all over the fretboard with different chords, and sometimes you'll find chords that don't fit into the key, but like you'll find that they sound quite cool. Definitely experiment with just randomly playing on the fretboard as well. That's how I came up with a couple of the chords in that chord progression. Now let's take what we did before and add some major pentatonic lead into the space between the chords in the chord progression. Here's the example now. Something I did in that example as well was I played an F sharp minor chord up here, or F sharp minor 7 chord I mean, and with my little finger I was playing little hammer-ons and pull-offs. That is a very common technique used in neo-soul playing as well. So I've got another example for you to check out using hammer-ons and pull-offs, but before we do that, let me just show you what I'm doing. So if we take a D major 7 chord like this, what we can do is we can hammer on from the 5th fret of the B string to the 7th fret with our little finger, then the 5th fret of the E string to the 7th fret with our little finger, like that. And you can do pull-offs as well. And if we do the F sharp minor 7 chord, we're going to be hammering on the 12th fret with our little finger and pulling off as well. So check out the example I created now. Now, I think that should be enough for you to get started writing your own riffs in the neo-soul genre. Please let me know how you get on with it in the comments. If it was helpful for you, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. That really helps me out a lot. If you want to learn the introduction demonstration riff that I played, then head down to my Patreon in the description, and there is a backing track and a tab so you can learn that and then play along with the drums and bass and keyboard. There'll be more videos to come soon, so I will see you in the next one.